All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the massive mobile industry to look at something really fascinating. The playbook that smaller, smarter brands are using to go head-to-head with the giants. So think about this for a second. When you think about who runs the mobile world, you probably think of the big guys, right? The ones with all the cell towers and the huge advertising budgets. But you know what? That's not really the full picture. Because there's this whole other world of companies that are absolutely thriving. They operate in the spaces that the big players either can't reach or just plain ignore. And they're not just surviving, they are fundamentally changing the game. And that brings us to the mobile market's big secret, the key to this whole hidden industry, the thing that makes it all possible, is a concept called the MVNO. So what on earth is an MVNO? Well, it stands for Mobile Virtual Network Operator. And basically, it's a company that provides you with mobile service without actually owning any of the physical cell towers or cables. Instead, they lease access from one of the major carriers, we call those MNOs, and then they resell that service to you under their own unique brand. Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine the big mobile network operator, the MNO, is like a massive beer brewery. They own the giant, expensive factories and all the equipment. The MVNO, on the other hand, is like a craft brewer. They don't own the factory, they just rent some time on the equipment. You see? The MNO owns the pipes, but the MVNO gets to create their own unique flavor. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Not all MVNOs are created equal. They actually operate on a spectrum, and it's all about making a strategic choice. How much control do you want versus how much are you willing to invest? Let's break down the 5 levels. Okay, so it all starts at the simplest level, the skinny MVNO. This is basically just a branded reseller. It's super low cost and perfect for a brand that just wants to slap its name on a mobile plan. A step up from that is the thin MVNO, which starts to handle things like customer service. But the real jump happens with the light MVNO. This is where a company owns its own billing systems, which means they can create custom plans and prices. That's a huge deal for differentiation. Then you get to the thick MVNO, which owns even more of the core network technology. This is crucial if you're trying to do something complex, like for business clients or the Internet of Things. And finally, at the very top, you have the full MVNO, which runs its own core network for maximum control and innovation. It's the most expensive, but also the most powerful. So the main takeaway here is that there's no best option. It's all about strategy. The smartest companies pick the model that perfectly balances control, cost, and how fast they want to get to market. A simple retail store might just need that skinny model, but a tech company building a global network of sensors, they're going to need to be thick or full. It's all about matching the tech to the ambition. And that brings us to the real masterstroke of this entire playbook. Because it's not really about the technology, it's about the strategy. For an MVNO, the niche isn't just a part of the plan. The niche is everything. Think about it like this. The huge networks, the MNOs, they're built for scale. They have to be everything to everyone. But MVNOs, they win by doing the exact opposite. They build incredibly profitable businesses by finding a specific community, a specific group of people that the big guys are too clumsy to serve well. Their entire survival depends on being different.
And the creativity here is just brilliant. You see MVNOs built for passionate sports fans like Red Bull Mobile. You have ethnic MVNOs like Labara, which are perfect for migrant communities needing cheap international calls. You've got big retailers like Tesco Mobile extending their brand. And of course, there are brands laser-focused on young people, on business customers, and even highly specialized ones for the Internet of Things, which, you guessed it, would need a more powerful thick or full MVNO setup to manage all those devices.
Let's just double-click on that Red Bull example. They're not just selling you a gigabyte of data and competing on price. No way. They're tapping into the passion of their audience. Their customers can literally turn their unused data into something called gigacoins, which they can then trade for incredible exclusive experiences, like meeting a Formula One driver. See? They're selling an identity, not just a utility. Okay, so this niche strategy sounds cool, but does it actually work? Is it making any money? Well, let's take a look at the scoreboard, because the numbers are absolutely staggering. This is a massive, booming global market. Get this, in 2023 alone, the global MVNO market was worth a whopping $79.2 billion. That's billion with a B. So yeah, focusing on a niche can lead to some seriously large-scale success. And it's not slowing down. The number of MVNOs out there has jumped by over 60% in just the last 10 years. More and more brands are catching on and realizing just how powerful this playbook really is. So where is all this action happening? Well, if you look at the global map, Europe is the most developed market, with about 45% of the pie. North America is not far behind, but the one to really keep your eye on is the Asia-Pacific region. It is by far the fastest-growing MVNO market on the planet right now. So that's where we are today. But where is all this headed? The game is always changing, and there are a few huge trends that are really shaping the next chapter for these challenger brands. It really boils down to three major forces that are reshaping the battlefield: the eSIM revolution, the explosion of the Internet of Things, and this really clever strategy called the ecosystem play. First up, the eSIM. Seriously, this changes everything. Gone are the days of waiting for a tiny piece of plastic to arrive in the mail. With an eSIM, you can activate a new plan instantly just by scanning a QR code. It completely removes friction, it cuts costs, and it means MVNOs can get you up and running in minutes. Second, the Internet of Things, or IoT. Now, looking at this chart, you can see consumer phones still make up most of the market, but that's not the real story here. The real story is the absolutely explosive growth rate you see for IoT and machine-to-machine subscriptions. We're talking about connecting everything from smart traffic lights to medical sensors, and that's creating a gigantic new opportunity for specialized, business-focused MVNOs. And finally, the ecosystem play. This one is so smart. This is where a brand weaves its mobile service into a much bigger world of products. Think about your favorite store bundling a special mobile plan with its loyalty program, or a bank offering a unique data plan just for its customers. All of a sudden, the mobile service isn't just a product anymore. It becomes this incredibly powerful glue that drives loyalty across the entire business. So when you put it all together, the Challenger's playbook is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Find a group of people who share a passion or a need, and build a mobile experience that speaks directly to them. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? With so many communities out there, which one is next? What undiscovered group is just waiting for a network to call its own?